Hey, what's going on, everybody? I know it's been quite a while, so I'd like to just first and foremost apologize for falling off the map, man. It's just crazy times we're living in. There's a lot of stuff going on, but also where I'm staying right now, it's very hard to find quiet time or to find the right lighting. Currently, I'm using my phone on top of an empty cooler with my sweatshirt on top of it, folded just right to hold it. So, I gotta do what I gotta do. But I'm snapping back for this final piece out of the 8-part series. Part 8 is going to be on recovery slash mental health. Okay, so recovery, not like body recovery, like somebody messed up something, they got to go to physical therapy. You know the recovery I'm talking about, okay? And I am going to talk about it from time to time on my channel, and I'm going to maybe have a separate thing going on with that because that's a huge part of my life. That's a huge saving grace that came through, and I was just blessed, man, and it's hard work every day, so don't get it twisted for a second and think that, oh, it must be whatever. It's not like how people say, oh, just stop. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop, but I don't know, this is a common interest that I shared with millions of people, and not necessarily by choice at all. None of us grow up and say, oh, gee, or no, none of us are kids and say, oh, gee, when I grow up, I want to be an addict who suffers and loses years and years of his or her life, to complete mental control over our souls and our lives and our bodies, our minds. And, oh, I want to become an active addict when I grow up, and I want to have severe depression and social anxiety and insomnia and all these things going on. And I want to go through a bunch of crazy events that will lead to PTSD. And no, dude, but it happens to people, and it happens to millions of us, Just a lot of us are quiet about it. I was my whole life, you know what I mean? I reached out to, once I got a therapist and everything, obviously I would talk to them about it. And now I'm at the point where I can talk to my family about it, my mother and father, So I'm very grateful to still have them in my life, cheering for me in my corner always. So it's a whole different chapter in my life now due to this, you know what I mean? And God willing, I've been doing great lately, but don't get it twisted, because I'm one mistake from being where I used to be. We're all one mistake away from being where we used to be. So you just have to keep that up front. And I think the best strategy for me was setting up boundaries. And at first I would set the boundaries and I would never follow through with them. This time around I set boundaries. It's kind of sad for me because a lot of my friends, who we were even best friends before anything like this came into the picture, alcohol, drugs, you name it. Before all that, we were still best friends. We grew up our whole lives, and it's just some of those people, I don't see them nowadays. Number one, I moved kind of far away from where I used to be, so that helped, all these things that I'm going to be naming and going over, it's not like that was the solution. All of them combined with, even more on top of that is the solution. Look at it like if you're an electrician, you have a tool belt. If you're going to go in to do a job, the more tools that you have on your belt, the easier and the better it's going to be. That is the exact same thing on how I view my recovery process. So I had to learn these things. I had to learn what makes me tick, what triggers me, what sets me off, how to avoid that. Not only like stuffing my problems and just not dealing with them, because it would build up and up and up, and then I'd explode over something stupid. Somebody would be like, nice haircut, buddy, and I snap. And it's like, why, So I needed to learn how to not do that and to see the importance of why I shouldn't do that, you know what I mean? And it can affect other people. And, I've always been a really nice person, real peaceful. But I don't know, it turns you and it twists you over the years. And I would always be the one who says, but not me, it's not doing that to me, I'm exempt. Oh, everybody thinks they're exempt. Nobody is exempt, dude. It's coming for us, and it's coming to attack all of us if we open that door. Once you open that doorway, it's really hard to just take a 180 and close the door behind you and keep walking. But hey, what are you gonna do, Also, I would say I could go from recovery to relapse if I'm not honest with myself, cautious of my surroundings, respectful towards what the addiction can do, towards what a potential relapse could do to me. And when I say respect, I mean respect what harm it could do to you, what harm it could do to the family, and all those bridges that you've mended and everything. They're just gonna break again. You're just gonna start burning more. You're just gonna get deeper and deeper, and that's not what we want. That's not what anybody wants. Okay, so when is the point that you turn back? That you turn around and start trying to, you've been digging a hole, digging yourself deep. When are you gonna just stop with the shovel, and when are you gonna start trying to climb back up? Okay, and it's gonna be a long road back. And it has been for me. And I'm lucky to be where I am today. I'm blessed to be where I am today. And I always try to remind myself of that, because it's so easy for us humans to just take everything for granted again and get used to everything, how it is. And I do it on my day-to-day basis. I notice it all the time. I take things for granted, and I have to kind of check myself, That's just something I do regularly now. And I'd say, to be honest, I know what my triggers are and stuff. I think the hardest one for me is like death in a family, death of a friend. It's really hard for me to cope with that. Ever since I went to one of my friend's funerals when I was younger, it just always messes with me now. And even one of my buddies said, man, you got to learn how to deal with that, man. Everybody is going to pass one day. I completely understand, but I just guess I view it differently. It's not something that I feel as though I could work on, like putting up a wall so I don't feel it. I do feel it, but that's why I don't go to, a lot of times I can't even muster up the courage to go to a wake or a funeral. Then I feel like it's so disrespectful for me to do that, but it's like it eats me alive inside. So I think that's going to be a big one in the future, for me, is how I react, when other people pass who are really close to me. That was always a go-to, just go get high right away, go do drugs, go get messed up. You don't want to feel that pain. You don't want to live with it. You don't want to go through the 5 stages of grief or whatever it's called, okay? And on a more of a minimized scale, I've been practicing stuff like that, and I've been doing good at it, but not death. So moving on from that, I need to tell myself in moments like that, I need to say I cannot and I will not compromise my health, my safety, my well-being, everything that I brought back, not material things even, just relationship. We are survivors for a reason. That's what I like to believe, is that a lot of us who made it, not saying people who didn't make it, that there was a reason for that. That's, you know what I mean? I'm not even going to touch base on that. I'm not even going to touch that with a 50-foot pole. Bro, but for the people who have made it to the next step in the next chapter in life, I feel like that was for a reason. There's a guardian angel, there's a higher power, there's something. You might not be Catholic, you might not be Christian, you might not be Muslim, but there's something, man, and I feel it, you know what I mean? And it's not anything that's going to be like another human who's just like, I have powers. No, it's just something we can't see, we can't touch, we can't even fathom, It's so much easier to keep getting high, man. It's so much easier to just stay on that path of misery. It takes real courage to stop doing it and stay stopped. Anybody can stop, but it's about staying stopped. It's about keeping it, keeping what you have, and appreciating it, and it's just, I took the easy way out for half of my life, and if this hits anybody, even just one person who's maybe was around my age before then, maybe it helps them to say no. When somebody says, hey, I want to try a little painkiller, I want to try this. No, just say, I'm alright, please, dude. And I know, but today, I stand tall, and I know I'm not alone. There's so many of us, and we need to speak up. We need to talk about this stuff, okay? We don't just keeping stuff buried all the time, man. It's just that I just don't think that's beneficial to somebody's mental health. I know it feels like it at times, like you're alone, but you're not. Just hold on a little bit longer, please. just long enough to see the speck of the light at the end of the tunnel, the littlest bit. Once I saw that there was potentially maybe a way back to a better life, that was enough for me. That was enough for me to, at least when I was going to sleep and I was still getting high, knowing that I can do this. And leading up to that event in which I did begin my journey. Now I've been in and out of recovery for 10 to 12 years, so it's not like I just went on a freaking 15-year bender without one thing. I've always been fighting back when I learned what I was doing to myself. Before that, yeah, there was a 3.5-year time span, but then that's before it escalated into other things, you know? So I'm talking about years with no light, not even a speck, you know? Now when you go from that to being able to see the light, it in a way, it like awakens your spirit or whatever you want to call it, you know? That's why I feel like my spirituality is very much so intact, especially in recovery. Now, I'm not going to say my religious aspect, I'm just going to say spirituality, you know? There is a difference, okay? So even people who don't believe in a certain thing, I'm sure you can feel spiritual movement within you, you know? We have souls in our body, you know what I mean? I feel like our bodies are just borrowed. We're going to have to give it back one day, but I would like to believe that the soul is eternal, you know? And it's just crazy for people who don't understand what it does over the years is addiction hijacks your brain. So our brains are just, number one, survival, number two, food and drink, whatever, number three, shelter, clothing, everything like that. All of that in the bracket, it gets all moved down one, because guess who's coming in? Addiction. That is going to come in at number one at a certain point, and you're not going to care about eating or drinking when it comes to, do I have money for a burger, or do I have to put this towards you know what? Okay? So just wrap your minds around that for a second before you judge somebody. You know, our minds control our thoughts completely. They dictate to our body what to do and everything else. The mind is where it all goes down, to be honest with you. And this is what I mean when I tell you today I'm in the driver's seat, because for a long time I wasn't, you know. And you'll hear people say, "Oh, yeah, now I'm in the driver's seat again, but the devil's riding shotgun." You know, you got to be cautious, you got to be careful, and you got to stay in control. You know, but what happens at first when you just stop cold turkey is you don't get dopamine, you don't get serotonin. Your brain doesn't know how to produce that normally or naturally, or even at a low dose, and you feel like it's nothing, because it is, dude. And it takes a long time to rewire the brain. So that's why there are medicines out there that just kind of fix it. They're not medicines, they're not magic pills or anything like that. So don't think that that's what I'm talking about. You know, there's Wellbutrin, there's Zoloft, there's just things out there that just kind of stitch parts of the brain back together that are not connecting on all servers. You know, and then I'm going to talk quickly about mental health. You know, for years I've had anxiety, depression, insomnia, and then closer, I'd say like 8-9 years ago, I started experiencing symptoms of PTSD. It's not like I was in the war, I wasn't in there, okay, respect to those people, but I'm just saying, you don't have to go through anything that gruesome to still have things like that, like constant nightmares, the same type of nightmare every night, and repetitive, and it has things to do with the past and whatnot, you know? There's things that break people down that will break a man, you know, but learning how to deal with that and move through that is huge, and it takes a long time. So even though I'm going through anxiety, depression, PTSD, and recovery, you know, I'll continue to strive towards success, and I want to be able to talk to other people about real life, about real stuff, what's going on, you know. I wish to inspire others if I can, addicts, alcoholics, gamblers, sex addicts, maybe people who are suffering in our obese nation, anything, people suffering with any mental health issue. Matter of fact, I wish to inspire everybody if I can, even if you think that you're in this picture perfect world where you don't have anything wrong with your mind or how you view things, or maybe you feel like you're not like addicted to something and you don't roll with it for a long time. You can stop. Just be open-minded, you know, try to look into what the life would be like if maybe you weren't like that, and see who's open to it. Now I'll tell you right now, I'm no Daniel Goggins, bro. Respect to that man. But I do want to motivate myself. Maybe not to his extent yet, because I don't have that much juices flowing in my body. But I like to still like wake myself up every day, motivate myself. And hopefully anybody else listening to this can get that. A huge part of my inner peace can be attributed to assisting others. So giving back is such an important piece of this. Even if it's something small, it doesn't have to be financial. You don't got to go walk up to every stranger and give them $20. That's not what I mean. Okay, what I'm talking about is mending bridges or just helping somebody out, helping an old lady to with her groceries, any little thing like that, because you can put a smile on somebody's face, and if you see that, it will put a smile on yours. I guarantee it. Go try it if you don't think so. And just helping out is like food for the soul. It fills us with vitality and hope and life. Um, I've written pages upon pages about these common interests, and I haven't really had a chance to break it down completely. I just kind of skim over the stuff, but it's very interesting to me. I feel like after this, my channel's gonna range from music to sports to, like, and then in depth on each one. So hip hop and punk rock, and then for sports, combat sports versus basketball and football. I'm interested in so many things, and it's like, why just limit myself to one thing? Oh, I'm a channel who reviews fishing rods. Like, dude, I'm good, man. I'm too expansive for that, and I need to just let all my creative juices flow. So wherever this channel takes me, it takes me. I'm not going into it with a sole purpose of one thing. So I guess that wraps it up right now. And I will see you guys because this is the closing of this series. So thank you for watching and listening. And I'll see you guys on the next part of my journey, which will either be a new series or just a normal video. But I do have a laptop coming. It's on the way. I'll be able to edit a little bit, I'm doing this solely off my phone. It's really ghetto, but I'm making it work for now. I did manage to get a laptop for like 180 or something. So hopefully, I was going to go with the PC because I heard that they're better with editing and stuff, but just, I don't know, just the budget is so crazy. Everything going on in my life is crazy, but I still want to be happy on the inside, and I still want to live a fulfilled life even without money for now, Just think about what's really important, man, please. And till next time, stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly. I'm out, man. Peace, guys. Love y'all.